On the bench, folks, we continue our conversation about SHA. Yes. What are your thoughts? What do you think, folks? We're going to get your reactions on the magic wall in a little short while, but we've got Senator Richard Nyonka from Kisii County in the House and Moses Kuria, Senior Advisor to President William Ruto. Gentlemen, before the break, we'll talk about the numbers.
Yes, Senator. I wanted to come back to the Auditor General's report, because that's where we stopped. He says that once the report comes out, obviously it comes out and then you have to respond. There'll be a management meeting, there's another response. But there are certain things, Honorable Moses Kuria, that I want to bring you to speed. The Auditor General cannot pronounce herself without conviction that the facts and the numbers she's stating are true. Why? Because all the evidence in the first managerial meeting, she calls the stakeholders to produce the evidence to support what they're doing. Number two, the Auditor General has actually said, and Jeff, I hope you'll allow me to quote her, okay, in her report.
Go ahead.
She says, 1 second, sir. She says, number one, Nancy Githungu's audit report on the National Government Ministries 2023-24 highlights the glaring inconsistencies in the procurement of the healthcare information technology digitization system, the system used to run SHA at the Ministry of Health at a cost of 104 billion. Then she says, the Auditor General revealing these glaring discrepancies in the tender, paperwork, contract agreements, and financial proposals. Then she goes on to say, the auditor lifting the lead on how procurement laws were violated with no inclusion of procurement plan nor a medium-term budgetary expenditure framework before procuring the system. Then she says, the report details how the management breached the law by using uncompetitive procurement procedure known as specially permitted procurement procedure in single sourcing a service provider for the digital system, violating Article 227 of the Constitution, which requires fairness, accountability, and transparency. Finally, Dr. Githungu discloses the contract entered did not provide the scope of work, which means even the figure being mentioned right now could be extrapolated by the provider of the service. Then it says the number of health facilities where the technology system will be installed was never disclosed. Why? Because if you don't give me the facilities that you want to disclose, if I have this system, I can then go and create my own health facilities which physically don't exist, and I put them into the system. Number two,
let Moses reply.
Thank you very much. The cost of training people who are going to manage this system is 7 billion shillings. That's what Nancy says here. There are no explanation to show the number of healthcare workers to be trained on the system and mode of training to arrive at that cost. Lastly, the amount of money that SHA found in the account of NHF was 102 billion shillings. Nobody talks about that money. Nobody says where it went. Nobody even says where that money is kept right now. It's not in the consolidated fund. That's what Nancy's saying. Finally, the other issue that you have here is very simple. Very amazing, Jeff. You have somebody, she's a doctor, and she's just told me this. It's shocking. She says, excluding hospitals' debt, if you discuss the 32 billion which was accrued by NHIF, this was money that the government was owing NHIF. Why? Because these were government workers that were being treated.
Moses.
And then finally,
hold on.
The health data shipment. Finally,
Moses needs to reply.
I'm giving you the last one. I want him to reply all of them. Finally, by us allowing shipment or access by a foreign entity is tantamount to exposing our sovereignty and an issue of national security. Imagine someone who knows your diseases, your vulnerabilities, and what they can do with that information, in fact, in case they want to create a biological weapon on you.
What?
You know, Senator Onyonka has jumped from Nancy Gadungu to his doctor.
No, it's Nancy. It's Nancy. No, it's Nancy. It's in our report.
I have got a preliminary.
It's in our report.
I've got a preliminary question because we can discuss the facts aside.
Yes. And the facts are stubborn.
And facts are stubborn, and I'll come to facts. But I've got a preliminary question.
Thank you.
Call a preliminary objection.
Yes.
Senator Onyonka, you want to tell me that a report from the Auditor General is final because you said he has conviction?
No, what I said is this.
We say the same of the audit reports in the CDF of Kitutu Church South.
Wait.
That whatever came from the Auditor General is final.
Waziri.
You know,
Waziri.
This is a man of integrity.
Waziri.
This is a man I have a lot of high regard for.
Waziri.
I give you a chance.
Don't praise me. Don't praise me.
No.
Waziri, Nancy's report is actually final.
Excuse me, protect me.
Go on.
Because I gave him a chance.
You gave him time to talk.
What I'm saying is, it's not final. First of all, it's not final. One, I'll say the following. One, all audit, and I'm saying this as a member of my profession. So I am very sparing in what I'm saying here because it will be unlike me to come here and attack a fellow member of the accounting profession, especially one whom we went to the same school, like the Auditor General. But I'll say the following. One, when this report was sent to the ministry did give a response. It did give a response. Nowhere does that response, against the norms of audit, even against the norms of what we call the rules of natural justice, that everyone be given a chance, to respond. So, Auditor General comes with this report, which, in my opinion, was actually informed by the proposal that came from the consortium, not by the final contract. She has not referred to the contract. And I want you to call her here because everybody now should be held to account, including the Auditor General. Yeah. She's not beyond being questioned, okay? So she should be called and asked, did you check on the contract or did you report on the proposal? That's number one. Two, when the Ministry of Health did give their response, as required of you professionally, as part of due care, that is one of our guiding principles as part of the generally acceptable accounting principles, which me and you were taught by the good professors. Did you give the Ministry of Health a chance to respond, and did you factor in the comments? Is it not a fact? Is it disputed that your report as submitted to Parliament never had the rejoinder? How would life be? How would life be if someone would make an accusation against everyone? All the way, and that's why we have got, even within our judiciary, several layers going up to the Supreme Court. How unfair would it be for anyone to come and accuse Senator Onyonka that you have done something, as we have been accused wrongly most of the times, and sometimes people have been accused rightly. But this whole game of giving someone the chance to be able to respond. So I am constrained by two things. One, the matters that are deponed to in that particular report are also matters which are in court. Senator Omtata, who is his colleague, has taken those matters to court. I thought that as part of fidelity to the rule of law, the Auditor General would have actually recognized that matter is in court. That's number one. Even us discussing it here is sub judice, but if you go to jail, I'm in good company, so it's okay. So it's fine.
We'll all share the same cell.
We'll share the same cell with this. We'll have some very intellectual discussion.
Okay.
It will be smoking in that cell. So what I'm saying is, one, the data of this data is not residing out of the country. Number two, in the 12th Parliament, Senator Onyonka and myself were members of the Budget Committee until I was kicked out from that committee, And the Auditor General came to us many times asking to be capacitated in terms of budgets. And I can now see where she was coming from that particular time, where Edward Ouko was coming from that time, because it came to us many times. One, I do believe that the office of the Auditor General requires to be beefed up by two categories of people. One is lawyers. Two is procurement experts. I can see, as a profession in that profession, that there is some gap there in terms of how can you doubt something that we were the lawmakers. This so-called specially permitted procedure is not something we picked from the air. It's something that is in the law. It is allowed in the law. The procuring entity is entitled to it. If we don't want someone to use specially permitted, we simply go to Parliament, change the law, and then it's not going to be available anymore. But it does not mean that because is it a legitimate, is it a legal, is it a lawful mechanism for procurement or not?
Okay.
For me, that's a question.
All right, listen, let's check out the money trail, okay? There's a graphic. Monica, where's that graphic? Let's check out the money trail. And gentlemen, take a look. This is what the Auditor General has said. Pull it. No, it's not there. It's coming. Pull it. It's on air, but we need to see so that the gentleman can respond. Huh? Okay, take a look behind you, gentlemen. Auditor General report. Payment for the project, okay? There's a lack of payment arrangement plan, 2.5% of SHA member contribution, 5% of claims from health facilities. And then it goes down to 1.5% of track and trace solutions, and then total 111 billion shillings in 10 years in an escrow account.
So, Jeff, can I respond?
Please.
Yes, let me tell you. I want to remind my brother Moses this way. When an auditor does a report, before they pronounce themselves on that report, there is an entry meeting and exit meeting. After that entry meeting, whoever that audit was being done is given not less than 6 months to respond. There's a fast response, which we don't have. There's a second. So when Moses says that, in fact, the Minister of Health did not have a response, no. If you look at what the minister herself has said, there are discrepancies in the way this project is being set up, and I will only hopefully come to answer them in Parliament. The same narrative is giving. Number two, Nancy Githungu was at the Senate today, this morning.
Yeah.
Every single thing I have reported here is what she reported. She said, this is a system that is opaque. We don't know who the owners are. We don't have where our health data is kept. The company that has made arrangements, of course, is Safaricom, with a company that is set up in the Cayman Island and another company that is set up in India. This whole exercise is being set up by individuals who nobody within the government knows. If you look at the judiciary, their own data kept there. It's domiciled there. If you go to the Ministry of Transport, NTSA, they have their own data. Why was it difficult for the government not to have government officers running our data, and yet we are spending 10 billion shillings a year? That's 1 billion shillings a month and more to run a system which 2 boys who are in Strathmore would have run, and it will work.
This level of ignorance is appalling. First of all, but I'll ignore that. I'll ask you one question, Senator Onyonka.
Thank you.
Assume it is 111 billion.
Yes.
Where did the money come from?
It's coming from the sick patients.
Where did it come from?
It's coming from the sick.
Because we have the system.
It's coming from the sick.
The system that is running.
It's coming from the sick. If the system was being run by the government, you wouldn't tax.
Let me ask you.
This is another tax.
No, let me ask.
That's all we are saying.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
Before even we started charging and moving, we had the systems in place.
Absolutely, but NHIF never used to charge 100. I mean, 10 billion
where did the
shillings
money
a year.
come from?
The money is coming from the patients.
Let me put it this way, Jeff. The other day, and we jumped up and down about Adani. We scrapped Adani.
Yes.
Very good, we're happy.
Yeah.
The airport is still leaking.
No.
We condemned, no, wait a minute. We condemned public-private partnership.
No, that wasn't the case. It is the opacity.
These people,
it is the hidden scandals behind Adani.
These people,
we fought for Adani because money, again, was being stolen.
Well, excuse me. You know very well that to get today 5 billion shillings from the budget, with all the loans John Buddy is paying, with all the things that we have, with all the pensions that we have, with all the interest that we are paying to domestic debt, to get even 5 billion shillings today as an expenditure.
Hold on.
But we are using 23 billion to renovate State House.
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. And by the way, you sit in a more privileged situation because, that comes to you in Parliament.
Thank you.
So you sit in a more privileged place than me.
Yes.
To even query 23 billion.
It's 23 billion.
It's not,
He knows the numbers.
There's no committee in JKL. So it is all in Parliament,
Yes.
But for me, in my opinion, this government, and I've got no shame on that, we've chosen public-private partnership, deliberately so, as a means of achieving what we can't achieve within our budget means. There's no pretense about that one. If I don't have money to go and say, I'm going to take the money that is for education, that is money that is for running my essential services, the money that is for my social protection and all the things that I must do, money that is for my police, money that is for fertilizer, whatever is of long-term capital investment nature, PPP is a decided policy of this government.
Can I respond to that, Jeff?
Of this government.
Yeah.
Some people don't believe in PPP.
No.
That's
we
fine.
do.
That's
we do.
fine. That's
no,
fine.
we do. Jeff.
Show me where else, if you don't want to deploy private capital from those people with the private capital,
Jeff.
if you don't want to follow the route that other countries have followed to take off, then show me what is the alternative. But you see, even if you look at our plan, our manifesto, that's not something new. When we went to the people, we told the people that we are going to use public-private partnership as a means of resolving our issues. Let me just take you to another route. Today, we are talking about NHIF debts for 30 billion. I have told you that billion has been accumulated since 2016. I was the vice chair of transport in the 12th parliament and a co-member with him in the budget committee. Do you know how much pending bills we have in the road sector?
Yes.
We had to raise last week from private people, from banks, from pension funds.
How much?
175 billion to pay debts that we didn't create.
And I would like to see the list. I would like to see the list who was paid.
Senator.
Let me say this, Jeff. Honorable Moses, you advise the president. Please listen to some of us. I am begging you. I have so much respect for you that some things I can't even raise them here. Bro, it is very simple. You can't come and challenge what an auditor. Just hold on first. Hold on. No.
It is not
let me finish my statement. And anyway, you're talking about the audit report. Let me leave it. What we are saying and what many people have been saying, right now I got somebody who's telling me there's a hospital in Nyeri called Trispan. His mother is there. The bill is 560,000. They are trying to have the system work. It's not work. I don't want to show you my phone. But
please show me.
Thank you. Here. Thank you. Let me show it to you.
Those are the kind of things that I'm saying.
Thank you.
That I want to hear, because those are the kind of things.
Yeah. Thank you, my leader.
Sure of myself.
Thank you, my leader.
You know, when we are so sure of yourself, I would want that key so that I know maybe something.
Here you go. Here you go. Let me give it to you.
As you're showing him that,
yes.
There's a soundbite from the Control of Budget on Consolidated Fund Services. Take a listen.
Then there was the question from Mheshimiwa Kuria there on the housing fund. Now, I need to bring out the fact here that there is a lot of money that does not pass through the COB. And the housing fund, the SHIF, like you have seen, the railway development fund, the petroleum levy, all these funds are operated outside the consolidated fund and therefore not part of what I approve.
Before you go there, let me answer him. Yeah. We are not against any PPP. What we are saying, we learn from international best practice. We bring it locally here. Honorable Moses, we want accountability, transparency, fairness, equity, which are the principles in my constitution. Then we are saying, my job is not to stop the government, not to get a PPP program. Invite people. Why did you pick one company? You want to do single sourcing, and yet you could have got 16 other companies who would have done it at a quarter the price. Therefore, we didn't get value for money. And when we raise these issues, then it is shifted on to, no. You see, then you have to talk about, in fact, these ladies, including the controller budget, many people say, oh, we need to fire her. These two women, for me, these are my heroes. These are the two last line of defense in this country. If you look at the issues they are raising, not any of us as men can deal with them.
Moses.
I've got a lot of respect for Madam Nyakango, notwithstanding the fact that Senator Onyonka has defended her publicly in the past.
Absolutely. And she's done a brilliant job.
On tribal grounds.
No, you see, now, the tribe thing, now, any Kenyan, when you are pushed to the corner, you bring your tribe. There was no tribe here. Has she been a professional who's done her job impeccably? Yes.
You said that time that
she happens to be Kisi, and I love her being me and me being her. We are from the same community. It has nothing to do with our professionalness. Leave it outside this.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Problem.
That's fair.
Okay. It's only because I know it's a nationalist.
No, let us deal. Thank you. Let's deal with it professionally.
On tribal grounds, but I respect as a professional. What Nyakango is saying is there is no contradiction at all, because we have got funds that are set up under PFM, Public Finance Management Act. All the levies, you say you have got a substantive law on that particular fund, or by that particular levy, the housing fund, the SHIV, all the other things, and I mean the Revenue Development Fund, they have been there from time immemorial. Not all, why we create those levies is that we can be able to ring fence them against being used or being diverted for other uses. For example, SHA, SHIF, and you have seen it from your own figures here, has limited 5%, only 5% administrative cost. That's a huge achievement. That we have only allowed 5% of the funds to be used for administrative purposes. That, for me, is a very huge achievement compared to the NHI and the way it was. Yeah? So once you ring-fence these funds, you save them from having to go to the vagaries of being used for any other purposes, to having to go through appropriation. Does it mean that is a blank check? No, it's not a blank check. They are still subject to audit, like any other.
But yeah. you still haven't answered the question. Where's the money going?
Which one?
To consolidate this.
To the specific.
Which specific?
Funds.
Wait.
To the specific fund.
Let me say.
Which
Can I?
Can Senator Onyonka look at me and look at what Nyakango
yes, let me tell.
Said?
Yes, I will.
Tell me which of those funds is illegal.
Let me explain to him. Let me ask you.
Go on.
In the Nancy Githuku report she gave about the withdrawals in 7 months of 1.3 trillion shillings, she said it was done manually. And yet, under the PFM Act, which we agreed, the electronic transfer of money would keep the records where the money is going and who's being paid. If you borrow 1.3 trillion shillings for us, Honorable Moses, and our debt is 800 billion, where did the 600 billion go? Who is supposed to authorize the expenditure of this money? It is Parliament. Was there budgetary allocations for this money? No. This is why the auditors are talking about these issues. And yet what people in government are doing is dismissing it as if this is some little game that we are playing over 1.3 trillion shillings and nobody should ask that. So I want to come to the fuel levy. Why is she talking about the fuel levy? Why is it not going to the consolidated fund? I'm shocked that she has not said that all our money that is being collected by the Kenya Revenue Authority is actually not going to the consolidated fund. The law states that every single amount of revenue that comes in, whether it is domestically generated or it's borrowed, it first comes to the consolidated fund, then after that, the money is transmitted. Why is that not happening now? Because the money doesn't even show up in Kenya.
You know, that is disputed. That is purely disputed, because then it renders nugatory, it renders useless why we have got specific funds created for specific purposes from time immemorial, not from 2022. When did the fuel levy fund come into place? Yesterday? Last year? This administration? Uhuru's administration? All the way back to Kibaki's administration. Me and Onyonka were members of budget.
But we never had an auditor general. The auditor never said.
He let you talk.
Thank you.
No,
my apologies.
You know,
my apologies. My apologies.
No,
Mose,
okay.
My apologies.
You know, he's a bit older than me, so monorizing and bullying is part of the game, and I defer to Senator Onyonka.
I submit.
So it is disputed that every fund that is not going through consolidated fund is an illegal fund. It is disputed that funds created under the PFM Act or even the substantive law that created them is illegal. It is not a fact that these funds came with this government or the previous one. Then it means that we have gotten it all the time. And Right now, if these funds are illegal, I don't agree with. But if Senator Onyonka believes that these funds are illegal, let him put his money where his mouth is.
You're covering your mic.
Yeah, let him put his money where his mouth is.
Can I respond, Jeff?
Go to Parliament, scrap those funds, say they are illegal.
Jeff.
You sit in Parliament, JKL does not change laws.
Jeff.
Parliament does. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You have bought all your MPs and all the senators. It's only 2-3 of us who are able to speak the way I speak.
What's the price?
Wait, it's a lot.
Oh, really?
Let's not quote figures. So I wanted to say this.
You have proof?
Yes, I could.
Let
me say this.
He who alleges must prove. That's the whole dictum in law.
Mose.
And that's the same accusation coming on.
My senior Mose.
And all that, you know.
I've been in that house for 20 years. Let's not go there. I want to say this. Anybody.
How much have you been bought?
Anybody. Sometimes 2,000, sometimes 3.
That's
anybody who, when I'm coming through the bathroom here, they'll give you so that you vote in a certain way. So anybody who wants to deal with the Kenyan problem that we have must understand that the system of financial management in our republic has deliberately been broken down. We have opened the gates for people to pull out the resources. He's telling me that as a senator, that's what I need to do. What I'm doing, Honorable Moses, now I'm informing you that we know. The next process, since I cannot come in right now because you bought all the members of parliament, is that hopefully, if you were to change and come to my side and be a presidential candidate, I'll then ask you for us to go and fix this mess. Right now, I can't fix it.
How can you buy 416 members of parliament?
Cheap change.
Cheap
change. Like, when you have got 1.2 trillion shillings.
Like the one who told God, is there not one good man to make us...
You don't even have to give them cash. You can give them trips abroad. You can give them money through roads, Kera, Kura. Let's not go there. You know those things. We've done them. Please, Moses.
But Moses...
Let's not go there.
You have to admit, there's a lot of corruption in this.
Let's not go there.
In society.
There's a lot of
corruption in society. Okay? And by the way, how many nominated senators do we have? We have got, is it 19?
14.
14 nominated and 12 in the National Assembly.
Yes.
So in the entire parliament of 416, 26 are nominated. The balance of 390 are elected by you and me. It's a reflection of who? Those people didn't elect themselves. The people of Kisii voted.
That is the most fantastic point he's raised the whole night.
Yeah.
Kenyans deserve the leaders they have.
No, because, there's only 26.
Yeah. Kenya deserves who we have.
You know what happens? We vote people today. The following day, we are crying. I say it's better now we vote for onions, so that when we cry, we know why
we know it's an onion.
Yeah,
yes.
We know it's an onion. That's the reason. But when this thing of we elect people today, we say, wacha tuchague kitunguu na pilipili tukianza kulia tujue ni kitunguu na pilipili.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. It's the greatest thing he has said for the last 10 years. Kenyans deserve the leaders they are having.
Which is a shame.
Absolutely.
You know what, Jeff, what I think, honestly speaking, because I like this platform, because Senator Onyonka and I are senior leaders in this country. We have got much younger people behind us. People we have mentored and all that kind of thing. I think we have to have an honest conversation with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to have an honest conversation and actually ask ourselves, what are the pathways from our mess?
Yes. What is this we are doing?
And Senator Onyonka, me and you can sit here and fight. We can even fight on tribal ground.
And we laugh.
We can whatever. But what about our children?
What are they going to do?
Strong?
No.
In other countries, it is okay to be an average guy. And I've said that in this show before. In other countries, you can survive by just being average.
Yes.
In Kenya, you cannot.
You have to be excellent.
Say extra good.
And then imagine.
How I wish
and imagine,
have a country.
Honorable Moses. Yeah? And imagine as excellent as you want your son to be, we are creating a system whether even if he's an A student, if they didn't have my name or his name or your name, they can't go and get a simple
I was
job.
watching one of your news clips when we were in the holding room with Senator Onyonka about that recruitment that was taking place in Roysambu.
Look at what is happening to our people.
With Mutua.
Yes.
My heart bleeds.
Look at what we've done to our people.
My heart bleeds than joblessness. When I have seen 20-something a girl
standing there and crying out loud and saying this is not what they asked for.
And the only reason maybe my son is not there is because he's
you are
son
known
of a big person or something like that. He could have as well have been there. How I wish we could separate two issues.
Thank you.
Issues we can contest.
And issues we can actually work
together.
So long, and I'm saying, believe you me, my brother, you know me. Bring any issue, so long as it's above board, we stop these shenanigans of stealing petty crimes, stealing public money. Kenyans will give you solutions, even going to the moon. Some of them will do it for free. Yes.
Jeff, people ask me why I'm passionate about this SHA thing. And I've told you, I believe there are some things that need to be fixed. Today, we are 5 months and 4 days. Yeah? 5 months and 4 days. We talk about deaths going back to 16 years. That's why when I say we are doing well, it's because 5 months and 4 days compared to 2016 up to now, I believe there was a good reason why we left NHF. I think I've made a point about that and SHA. But wait a minute. If today 20 million Kenyans, level 2 and level 3, that's what we call primary health care. As long as you are registered like those people are registered, forget about this payment or not payment, you are treated for free. I'm a proud Kenyan. 20 million Kenyans can go to any level 2 and level 3 and be treated for free by money from government of Kenya. It's a record. The county of Nairobi, do you know how many people are registered? The ones I've talked about. County of Nairobi, Governor Sakaja has registered 1.5 million people. I'm doing a pilot in Mombasa with Governor Abdul Somad. We've registered 700,000 people. Do you know what's the population of Estonia? We always praise Estonia. We say we want to go for benchmark in Estonia. Yeah. I heard some, the other day I was meeting private hospitals, Kenya Health Federation, they were saying, oh, we have got a trip to Estonia. I said, wait a minute. Don't go for benchmarking in Estonia because population of Estonia is 1.3 million people.
Exactly.
Less people than what Sakaja has built here. Let's fix Nairobi, make it work. I want to hear people from Burundi not going to Kenya but going to the county of Kisii.
Thank you.
To benchmark and see. So let's safeguard that good thing that is working. And for me, just the whole thing of primary health care. Because the reversal, if you compare with the 9 million people who are only for which they were getting only maybe 1 billion going to them in the old system. If we can make this system work, if only for the primary health care, for the people in Mashinani, not for the privileged people who are born in Aga Khan like Senator Onyonka.
No, I was born in
the village like
hospital.
Me, yeah? So if we can make it work for that guy there, and let me tell you something. We also have a problem with the middle class. The middle class is me and you because we are represented in this forum. We are on JKL, we are on Twitter, we are on TikTok. There is a guy in a place called Nkerenyo.
That is true.
That is not represented. That is not here. Yeah. Please, let us make that person to be the basis of this conversation.
And that is why, Jeff.
Hold on, before you say that, the big question was if it works. You just said that like 2-3 times.
Yes.
If this system works.
It is only remaining on one thing, goodwill.
Jeff.
Goodwill.
Jeff, I disagree.
Goodwill. It's only remaining. First of all, let me tell you something. Let me correct myself. As sure as day for us night.
You're still blocking your bite.
As sure as day for us night, this system will work. And by the way, do you remember the fertilizer distribution?
Yes.
Do you remember when we came up with subsidized fertilizer 2023, January 2023? Now we are in March. We are getting into something called MAM, March, April, May rains. You don't hear anybody talking about fertilizer. Fertilizer is now in every place in this country.
Jeff.
Farmers are waiting for the rain so that they plant. What's the point I'm making? In the beginning of this program, we had issues. We had problems. Today, nobody hardly talks about fertilizer. Because if it's working, it's not newsworthy. The same way we don't talk about fertilizer today, I can tell you, Jeff, by the anniversary of SHA, we moved to SHA on the 1st of October. I want to say without fear of contradiction, by the anniversary of SHA on the 1st of October, nobody will be talking about this issue.
Jeff, can I respond?
It will be a thing of the past.
Yes.
Honorable Moses Kuria, the reason why you don't have complaints about the fertilizer, number one, is because the first time they did it, came back to the same point. The idea is brilliant. But what happened? You people were selling soil to the public, so the noise came out. Number two, right now the system was streamlined. The fertilizer has reached some of those areas. Don't be too happy yet because the farmers that live in Trans Nzoia, most of them actually left that system. But the system works because I'm a farmer. If you went today and you wanted fertilizer from the National Cereals and Produce Board, that is a win for the government. What I am saying...
That is so fair of you because you are a farmer. Maybe I should make you a patient.
No, I'll come there. I'll come there. I'll come there. In fact, you don't have to make me a patient. What I would like to do is all of us who work in government and the state officers should never be given insurance other than go to our local hospitals where we come from in Nairobi, which are public hospitals. I should be treated in Kenyatta.
Can I respond to that?
All right, hold on. So like Sabina Chege has brought a bill on saying, all state officers, stop telling us that we are going to give you money so that you can pay school fees for your kids. Take your kids to public schools. Kenya High is a good school. Alliance is a good school. Kisii High School is a good school. Cardinal Tuka. Let us build the institutions and facilities we have. Make sure we stop the corruption and minimize what we in the ruling class, what we, Mose, what we do. If we stop the bad habits, Moses, hold on, please. If we stopped the bad habits which we have and fixed whatever that we are fixing, believe you me, Kenyans will leave you alone. They will leave President Ruto. You will never hear anybody, Ruto must go. They will say the president is doing well. So my point is this. We are not, again, I repeat, my brother, we are not just against SHA. Fix it, clean it up, listen to what the Auditor General is saying, listen to what the Controller is saying, fix the hemorrhaging of our resources as a state. That is the bad behavior that we can't get rid of.
It is so difficult to disagree with Senator Onyonka on this one for two reasons. One, if you go to Rwanda, they had the same issue with us. Yes. Where education was all private.
Absolutely.
They turned,
yes,
and it became...
Kagame said, let everybody go to to public schools.
Yeah, so that one I'm with you.
Yes.
The more reason I'm extremely passionate about SHA. There's an animal called FIF, Facility Improvement Fund.
Yes.
Facility Improvement Fund leaves money in the local hospital.
True.
And by the way, Senator Onyonka, I want to send you, there is something called facility or there's a committee that's supposed to be at every facility level.
Yes.
Every governor is supposed to form a committee at every facility.
True.
They have not done that.
Did you see what the governor said?
Yeah.
They are being forced to sign for equipment which they don't even need.
Let's put that aside because the issue I'm saying is much more fundamental than that. I can come to the issue of
okay,
because that's a separate issue.
Yes.
I'm talking about money that is retained at a facility level.
That is true.
Yeah. So today, if you go to a hospital called Tabaka Hospital,
yes,
which is in your county,
yes,
there is supposed to be a committee.
True.
On that particular level.
That is true.
That is an oversight. There's a youth representative, a woman representative. There's a whole oversight at that local level. That's supposed to say, because we are leaving some money in the facility to improve it. Why are we leaving money to improve that facility? So that we can rig the system in favor of the poor.
True.
Yeah, so that now this game is on the second half,
yes,
it is now rigged in favor of the poor. That's why I'm passionate about this thing. So this oversight at the local level is very important.
True.
What are most governors doing? They are not forming that committee. Number two, the account of the facilities are supposed to be having a local committee signing.
True.
Do you know who is signing those bank accounts? It is the governors, people, and the chief officers.
Thank you.
And do you know who is supposed to oversight them? Do you know who is supposed to make that work? Do you know who is supposed to tell them from this committee? Senate.
Do you know how many times we have got those governors he's talking about? I can run through with you.
We don't need the numbers.
I can give you.
But
I can, wait. But
Senate has failed on that.
Jeff, Jeff,
He says the Senate has failed.
He is pronouncing propaganda. Right now, the Senate has audited books of all institutions and facilities of the government up to 2023.
No, I'm asking on a specific.
Wait, no, I'm coming there.
Right.
I'm coming there, Moses. I'm coming there.
Gentlemen, hold that thought. Hold the thought. We need to pay some bills. Take a break. Come back. I want to ask you, why are you so passionate about coming here to talk about SHA? You're not a CS. You're not a PS.
He's an
advisor.
advisor.
You're not a DG. You're a senior presidential advisor.
For my ambition of going to heaven. But let's take a break.
I like that. And by the way, we're going to come back in the magic wall. Ayub Abdul Kadir will be reading your comments when we come back. You're going to heaven now, huh?
Absolutely.
Straight.
Absolutely.
JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, expertly crafted to reach taste that marks a deeply rewarding, authentic whiskey. Elevate your moments and make them your own with Best London Dry Gin. Every sip is a celebration of exquisite quality. Whether you're enjoying time with friends, Best Vodka allows you to ultimately extend into creativity and adventure. Best Vodka is triple distilled for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
Ramadhani ndio hii.
Ni msimu ambao thawabu zake ni nyingi.
Na kumfuturisha mtu una ajiri yake.
Usipitwe na hii fursa adhimu ya kuweza kuwafuturisha Waislamu wasiojiweza.
Join us for our 2025 food pack campaign as we aspire to feed 5,000 families.
Oporeno 13 live photo maridadi, video kali na ni 4K maji, IP69 certified, hii ndio latest design, piga picha air edit kusaidia kurefine.
Take a shot and shine, take a shot and shine.
With over 74,000
Utamu wa ugali, chapati, mahamri unapatikana ndani ya 210.
Ruiru Mabati Factory offers the best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. With over 10 years experience, our products have 15 years warranty and are kept certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile among others in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us on 0111 050 700. Friday 10 p.m.
Unajua ni kudunda kudonjo.
Piga statue.
Salam konko.
Akufa juu, kila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu.
E for the energy, E for the vibe. Say E for the energy. Unaweza niita media messiahs kuzombora.
Cause Africa's mega hype man, good man.
10 over 10 every Friday from 10 p.m. Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, Best London Dry Gin, Best Vodka for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Na kuungamia Mungu Mwenyezi, nanyi ndugu zangu, kwani nimekosa mno kwa mawazo, kwa maneno, kwa vitendo na kwa kutotimiza wajibu. Nimekosa mimi, nimekosa sana. Ndio maana na kuomba Maria mwenye heri, Bikira daima, malaika na watakatifu wote, nanyi ndugu zangu, niombeeni kwa Bwana Mungu wetu. Mungu Mwenyezi atuhurumie, atusamehe dhambi zetu, atufikishe kwenye uzima wa milele. Amina.
Dial *811*345# to get ungamo la dhambi.
Every Friday 10 p.m.
Unajua ni kudunda kudonjo.
Piga statue.
Salam konko.
Akufa juu, kila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu.
E for the energy, E for the vibe. Say E for the energy. Unaweza niita media messiahs kuzombora.
South Africa's mega hype man, good man.
10 over 10 every Friday from 10 p.m. Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, Best London Dry Gin, Best Vodka for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
Mabrother, chekini story fulani la penjuzi mtani record manze.
Lakini bro, kazi itakuwa tu ni kujaza simu na hizi mavida.
Ai, kujinice tu kaka.
Mwananchi gani huyo anarada medali ya pesa?
Leta tenje ni kushow vile tutaomoka. Citizen Digital wako na platform fulani kwa site yao inaitwa Wananchi Reporting. Hapa unaweza tuma story yako kwa website yao ama kwa app yao ya Citizen Digital. Na kama hiyo process ni ngumu, unaweza tuma story kwa email yao, WhatsApp number ama uitumie kama SMS.
Alafu gani napataje bro?
After story yako imepublishiwa, hapo ndo una receive 1000 kwa simu yako.
Bro, au umenichanua.
Don't just witness the news, be part of breaking it. Download the Citizen Digital app and share your story with Wananchi Reporting today.
Citizen Digital. Introducing Best Classic Whiskey, expertly crafted to reach taste that marks a deeply rewarding, authentic whiskey. Elevate your moments and make them your own with Best London Dry Gin. Every sip is a celebration of exquisite quality. Whether you're enjoying time with friends, Best Vodka allows you to ultimately extend into creativity and adventure. Best Vodka is triple distilled for an extra smooth, pure taste. Best, define your moment.
JKLive, powered by Stanbic Bank Private Banking. It's planning wisely. It's living joyfully. It's banking easily. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
That's right, JKLive, powered by Stanbic Private Banking. Now, imagine for a moment if you were treated to an exclusive world-class private banking experience. That's right, at Stanbic Private Banking, it's more than just banking. It is banking made easy with personalized service from a dedicated world-class private banker. It's living joyfully with the Stanbic world-class elite cards that give exclusive access and discounts globally. It is investing skillfully with confidence and foresight in Kenya and beyond, stepping into a bold future with limitless possibilities. And most importantly, it is planning way in advance to secure your family's future today and into tomorrow, and building a rich, lasting financial legacy. Start your growth journey today with Stanbic Private Banking. And guests still on the bench, Moses Kuria, Senior Advisor to President Ruto, and Senator Richard Onyanka, all the way from Kisii County. Moses, I asked you before the break, why this passion? Why are you the one who's coming out to speak about SHA? And you're not a CS, you're not a PS, you're not a DG.
You know, in the Bible, there's a story is told about this guy who was beaten by dogs and he was left for dead. And then there was somebody who was passing by who was not a Jew, like the guy who was beaten. He was a Samaritan.
A Levite.
A good Samaritan.
Yes.
And this good Samaritan was not the Jews who helped by the good Samaritan. Now, the Jew did not ask him, are you a Jew? You will not help me. I guess if it was in Kenya, they would be asking, what is your job grade for you to help me? Are you devolved? Are you national? So this, as I've said, is for all of us. You know, for me, I believe in teamwork. I believe in teamwork. And I believe in helping, by the way. Genuinely, I believe in helping. The other thing is that what we are doing today is unprecedented. It has never been done before. Previous governments have tried to do it. It is one thing asking CS Deborah, who is doing a fantastic job, PS Kimtai and PS Mudhoni, who are doing a fantastic job. But this is so huge. Jeff, today is Wednesday. The whole Monday, we had a meeting, I posted on my socials. We had an 8-hour meeting with the president, sitting down, asking questions. All of us, the president of the country, let alone me and a whole team of people. Today, the same thing, we've been holed up. You've seen that decision to pay those NHIF was a result of a very huge, so more like, university, lecture room conversations, push and pull, and because can you imagine this huge burden being left in the hands of one person or two person? Even if I was a CS for health, I would not be able to handle this alone. So this is something that requires concerted efforts from everyone. That's reason number one. Number two, I've given you about my personal experience as a patient. And I really committed to that I want people, I don't want people tomorrow, and I want to agree with Senator Onyonka, that we should actually have a system that is run by public sector. He talked about, by the way, before I forget, about us public servants. Senator Onyonka, you are right.
Yes.
Do you know, every year, the scheme that you and I enjoy,
yes.
what is called the enhanced scheme,
yes,
runs at a loss of 1.5 billion shillings every year.
Yeah,
every
because we are the ones who want to go to India, we go to Dubai, we are going to Australia.
Not even out there, even here. When the child of a civil servant goes to Aga Khan for normal delivery, Aga Khan is paid was being paid by NHF 100,000 shillings. For a cesarean, for a normal delivery. The same delivery in Pumwani is 13,000. It's like you'd think the child of a civil servant is going to come from the womb carrying a trophy. Because, it is just wrong, it's immoral. And I believe that we need to look at that.
Absolutely.
That for me is not justifiable. That even those deaths that you're talking about, a very huge proportion is contributed by us,
public servants.
Sometimes, and I was Minister for Public Service.
Yes.
I say if you find a public servant in heaven, you're not in heaven. You are somewhere else. Because how can we? And that's the same thing I keep talking about. Sorry, because I want this system rigged in favor of Wanjiku, in favor of the common person. How can it be, even for salaries? 1 million people, me and Onyonka, we are taking 46% of the tax collections of the country, leaving the other you guys to 53 million to scrabble for 50. That is a question of us. It's not here. I've said it again and again and again. I'll keep saying we need to have a civil service reform, and we need to have to inculcate a culture whereby we live like everybody else. Another reason that I'm very passionate about this is primary health care, for the reasons I've said. Even if I fail on level 4 hospitals, and I will not fail. Even if I fail on level 5 and level 6, let me ensure that 75% of Kenyans who are using level 2 and level 3, which might not be on Twitter, on TikTok, the tobacco hospital I'm talking about, I live for that. I live for that tobacco hospital, not for the big hospital up there. The other one is about the controls that this system puts in place. We used to have some hospital, and by the way, all the hospitals which were questionable, they used to have a Christian name. It is by a private guy, but it's called St. Peter's. Ukisikia St. Peter's, this is a faith-based hospital. It is not. The amount of fraud that was happening in NHIF, it is unimaginable to imagine how was it surviving. You find a claim being paid
19 times.
For 19 times. A claim being paid for maternity for a patient called Njoroge.
Yeah.
When did Njoroge give birth? A patient Njoroge. Yeah. Joint hip joint replacement, 19 times on the same patient. Do you know what the new system is doing? Churn it out. Njoroge does not give birth. You cannot amputate somebody. So if we just continue fixing those controls, we're going to save a lot of money. Finally, it is what I'm calling power to the people. What SHA is doing is giving power to the people. Today, if you go to the hospital, you can go to your phone and see all your medical history. You move from one county to another, whatever you are treated in that hospital follows you to the other hospital. Governor Abdulswamad of Mombasa, and I come there the whole of January in Mombasa, raised the membership registry to 54% with Governor Abdulswamad in Mombasa, digitized 92% of Mombasa facilities. As a result, Governor Abdulswamad can run Mombasa Health from his home, because he can see this doctor came for 1 hour, then went to another private hospital there, Pandia. Is being paid by this hospital has got medicine, is screaming. So if it's all these controls, I want to see the good.
Senator, you're going to get...
No, there is good.
Good, thank you.
You're going to get a chance.
The only problem is the good you're talking about. You see, you're talking about Mombasa. You didn't talk about Mukurweini. Wait. What we are saying, I know you're most probably making Mombasa the pilot, which is wonderful. Yes.
And then
next you move.
Next week, all over the country.
Yes. The only, for me, disclaimer I will give you, and I stick by what I'm saying because these are facts that we are handling. Please mention to the people in government, the public will believe you in what you're doing, Jeff, in fairness and in justice, when they know you mean well.
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. Let's go to the tweets now. These are coming in so thick and so fast. Ayub, what do you have? What do you have?
We had more than 30.
Wow.
So we sample what we can.
Okay.
Including the first one from the Environment CS, Adan Duale. I'm sure he's at home now because of the Ramadan. So this was a long thread he posted on his X account. And he says Article 226 of the Constitution, as read with the Public Audit Act 412B, provides for the procedures of auditing, which requires that the Auditor General does engage the respective accounting officers before preparing the final audit reports. He goes on to finish up and says, with these laid down legal procedures, why would the Auditor General politicize, in caveats, audit reports by publicizing findings which are not yet considered and acted upon by Parliament? He says this leaves more questions than answers. However, the bottom line is that the law must be adhered to by even holders of independent offices. Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you. You only should pick that last sentence. Nothing else.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
is also this one from the National Treasury. We will have one from CS John Bard. Yes, here we go. He was amongst also the viewers. He says the Constitution allows money to go direct to a specific fund created by an Act of Parliament without going through the consolidated fund. This was actually in relation to the issue. Senator, the point that you had made. So this is a specific message for you that he had sent us. Danson Mukile says, Ayub and Jeff asked Honorable Moses Kuria about the system reliability optimization. The system rundown time is below the 5 nines, 99.99%, and this is affecting approvals at the hospitals, leading to the long queues.
Can I answer that?
Yes.
We are now using something called OTP.
OTP
that comes to your phone. That is subject to the network we have in the country. So two things we are doing. One, we are optimizing that network. Two, we are now we are now implementing a biometric system. So very soon we are going to move away from the OTP. I know the OTP is an issue, but the minute we move to biometrics, this will be a thing of the past.
Okay.
Which is when? What's the timeline?
2 weeks time, maximum. 2 weeks time. Do you want to call me again?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We can call you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
With Onyonka.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ojera John says, why is the national government so busy with health services, which is largely devolved?
Thank you.
Senator, that's what you were saying?
Yeah, the reason is most of the money is kept by the national government. The Constitution talks about devolution and most of this facility. In fact, the national government responsibilities are on Kenyatta, Moi Teaching Referral, Eldoret. You're talking about Kisi Referral, the hospital, Jaramogi, and the hospital.
For the last five months, Ayub, since SHA came, we've sent 19 billion shillings.
Please let me.
To facilities.
Let me finish.
They are all devolved.
Let me finish. But how?
Wait. To counties,
Thank
we are
you.
sending to facilities and to actual patients.
Thank you.
We are doing much better than what the Constitution expected of us.
Thank you, Moses Kuria. That is a fantastic answer. The question is, you didn't give how much money is in the health, in the budget. It's 146 billion. So if you gave 19 billion, you are joking. Proceed.
And for health workers?
Proceed.
No, I would be happy.
Even when you remove the health workers' money, it's 100 and something billion.
So let's get more tweets.
Yes.
Let's go. We hear from what Kenyans are saying. The next one is from Angote Tui. He says, hello, I want to confirm to you that the Social Health Authority is working. I am one of the beneficiaries of SHA, being a kidney failure patient. Okay, it meant in plural, that is not in singular. SHA is paying for my dialysis, and I am a pre-kidney transplant patient, and also SHA has paid for most of the tests.
And you know what? As we collect more money, as we get more people in the private, informal sector to pay, we are reviewing the benefit. You've heard my sister, the CS for Health, say, HDU and ICU, now 4,000 per bed night. In next week, supplementary budget, when it passes in Parliament, it is jumping from 4,000 per bed night to 28,000. Because once we continue collecting more money, where else would we take the money except giving more benefit to Kenyans? So I want to tell Angote that Mambo Badu.
No, the thing that Angote is worried about is we don't know where the money is going.
That's it.
But he knows he's here.
No.
But
You know,
we don't
that's
know.
one case.
No,
No, Honorable Moses, that's one case.
See
Okay, so
now.
let's proceed with the feedback.
You know when
Because
you know when Jesus walked on water, people like Onyonka said that he has failed, tried to sink, and he has
No,
failed.
that's blasphemy.
Okay. No.
Proceed. That's blasphemy.
So let's proceed.
Are you walking on water?
Josiah Osiri, public health specialist, says ideally SHA is supposed to increase access to quality healthcare services to all Kenyans and caution Kenyans from out-of-pocket health expenditure. However, the designers intentionally made it an enterprise milk cow. Scrap it and revert to NHIF, period.
I don't.
That's been my position.
Yeah, that is a generic.
So, let's proceed. Okay.
That's been my position.
DK
Nothing to
says,
say.
if NHIF money was stolen, how many are in court? Why not seal the area of the theft instead of subjecting Kenyans to a lot of suffering?
I'll say something as we end this show on this issue.
Okay. The final comments will be with you, Senator and Moses.
Yes.
Clementina says, do I continue contributing to the Social Health Authority or suspend till the matter is solved?
Do you want to be? Do you want to be treated?
Do you want to pay for something that doesn't pay you a dividend?
Please, Onyonka has got a super cover. Don't listen to him.
No.
Clement,
you see,
Clementina.
Honorable.
Go get the cover.
No.
Is as his
Jeff,
cover.
I want to stop him there. Again, Honorable Moses, you are going the wrong direction. Even you have the same cover.
Yes, but
what I am saying, this thing, if you don't accept the challenges of this thing, then it means you are whitewashing it.
Would you tell Clementina to opt out?
Absolutely. It's not working.
Okay. Hell is waiting for you.
It's not working.
So next, we move on to Peter, who says, ask Moses Kuria what insurance senior servants are on if they stopped using NHIF in hospitals as late as November. They were on NHIF.
Yes, so and then NHIF continued extending. Now we have got something called the public officers cover, yeah, which to me is because something has to continue. But something I share with Senator Onyonka, that we cannot continue being like the animal farm where some animals are, and this is a burden. We are in concurrence.
Yes.
Civil servants, we have a case to answer.
Okay. Next comes from
it's agreeable.
Wesley. He says, my father is retired. The government said for the people who are working will pay less or 0 Kenya shillings for the Social Health Authority. How comes my father is being asked to register for the SHA services by paying 12,000, which is 1,000 bob per month, yet he is not working, he means. NHIF, I would pay 500 a month, and the services were reliable.
Let me tell you something about 500. You'll be shocked. I have it on account of people who are in that discussion. It was, I think, during Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. So somebody asked, how much should we pay? 300. Somebody else said, let's pay 700. And I think the readers of that time said, 300 plus 700 divided by 2, 500. There was zero science about it. It was picky pompy. There was no science about it. No wonder it was unsustainable. Yeah?
Can I respond?
So, and the reason we're asking, you know now, me, I am paying 27,000 shillings from my contribution, from my salary.
Yeah.
I think Senator Onyonka is paying slightly more than me from his salary. Before, me and Onyonka, we were paying 1,700. My driver was paying 1,700. If you calculate the driver's salary contribution as a percentage of his salary, he was paying like 10 times more than what I was paying that time. My 27,000 is a lot for me. But am I complaining? No. Because I am saving the money I was contributing in other Harambes. And I'm sure that my 27,000 is treating somebody in Mandela, somebody I don't know. So it's just the same Harambe that we are contributing to. Only now it is one big Harambe. So it is okay. I hear what people are saying about being paid 1,300. But please consider civil servant who was paying, or not civil servant, payroll people. Somebody who was paying 1,700 has now to pay 30,000 for people that some of them he knows them, some people he doesn't know them. This is why I'm saying as in SHA is not for sugar, it's for social.
So can I respond?
One big Harambe.
Thank you,
How
Moses.
much are you paying, Senator?
The point is about 15,900, something
and
like
before?
that. Just hold on.
Before? As a matter of fact.
He's diverting my attention. That is what they were running for during the elections. The public was expected to pay 300. It's now 1,200. How many people today in Kenya can pay that amount of money?
Not many.
Thank you.
By the way, Moses, how much do presidential advisors earn?
Well, they earn what is in their contract.
It's about 2 million.
So, for example,
It's about
we know
2 million.
Yes.
These guys are very well paid.
We know it's properly tabulated what members of parliament are.
And you know, presidential advisors don't increase their salaries every day like senators.
No, but you deserve. Honestly, let me tell you, it will be very hard for me right now to defend President Ruto. You're doing well.
So
he deserves the
for
pay.
2 million shillings, it's not bad.
It's not bad, not bad.
That's not correct.
So how much do you earn?
But I like your press. And how much do you earn, Yusuf?
Well, I'm not a state
He's
official.
a HR guy.
He's not a state officer. He's not a state officer. You are not a state. Yeah.
So let's do that for
My
that.
brother, thank you.
A lot of ambiguity. Maria Mokua says, I can't complain. Having a patient with cancer, it has really helped. However, before chemo, everything was from the pocket.
Good.
Okay,
Please.
Bonnie Bango.
No asking for comment.
So
Why
if
are you glossing
no,
over?
I'll respond. So I'll comment.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the out-of-pocket money, how would she have gotten out of the hospital?
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
Please read it.
So do you want us to get
Revert it, take it back and
it's
see.
in plain English.
Okay.
Yes. Everything she paid
So she
before
says, I
chemo
can't
was
complain.
from her
Please
pocket.
read between the lines.
Okay, let's read together. It's simple and plain English Maria is using. I can't complain, she says. Having a patient with cancer, it
Was
has
really?
helped.
Thank
However,
you.
before chemo,
Everything was from the pocket. So
How do you understand that statement?
if you don't have that money, you wouldn't move.
No. Before
Chemo.
Before there was a comma there missing.
Yes.
Before
chemo.
Everything was from the
No. Before chemo, comma.
No, there's
No, Moses. Don't teach us English here.
Next.
Boss, we went to university together with
I
you.
think she has no complaint.
Yeah.
Bonnie Bango says, I was in the Kakamega Referral Hospital last week as an outpatient.
Nothing was
Not
paid
even
by
a shilling
Referral
was paid
hospital paid by SHA?
by SHA.
Bonnie Bango, please tweet back whoever Monica it is there. I want this guy's number.
Okay.
And I will take it up with Fernandez Baraza personally.
The governor of...
Governor of Kakamega and with that hospital.
Okay.
And Jeff, for your next show,
Yes.
whether I'm here or not, I'll give you an answer about this one. That is how I am sure of the system. That's how sure I am.
So what do you
That's how cocky I am.
Okay, so Bonnie will get help.
Please.
Okay.
All right, Bonnie, you heard him.
We move next. Odeke says, I have a mother, a widow as we speak, who has never had a formal employment, doesn't do any business to earn a living, and I was personally paying up her 500 Kenya shillings. NHIF monthly subscription until the Social Health Authority thing was introduced. On registration, she was told she should be paying 1,030 bob per month. Absurd.
So what's the complaint here, Didi?
From 500 shillings
Yes.
to 1,030.
There's something called means testing. Everybody is doing a means testing. And I've seen even other people say that employed people should pay more than unemployed people. No, that's not true. We have got people who are in the informal sector, and I know many of them, who earn more money than people who are in salary. So being unemployed or being in the informal sector is not a measure of any means whatsoever. So this 1,030 is coming as a result of the means testing that's looking at different parameters. And by the way, my friend, you are lucky. I'm paying 27,000.
But can I?
You're paying 27,000.
Can I respond?
Yes.
A month.
Per month.
That's because you're earning 2 million.
Absolutely.
No, I am earning less than
Absolutely.
a million. It's 2.75%.
Jeff.
2.75% is by the law.
Jeff.
So you don't even have to ask me about my salary.
Jeff.
Take a calculator.
I do the math.
Yeah, do that.
Jeff, the police don't have this thing. The teachers don't have this thing.
But Wajiko has.
Hold on.
Wajiko has.
Give me a minute. Surely. You know this bottom-up thing ended. Let's be reasonable. It's not about whether we are creating a country for Wanjiku or not. In fact, the people who are
How many teachers are there in Kisii County?
The people who
A county
are...
of
Just
1
hold on.
million people.
No, I don't
And
want
you
to
are concerned
go.
about
I don't want to go
teachers,
there.
few
No.
teachers.
You hear the attitude they have about teachers.
No.
That the teachers have... how many teachers are in Kisii?
No,
two teachers who are sick too many. Moses.
No, I agree with
what
you.
I'm saying. No, wait.
But
Allow me.
Let this focus,
Allow me.
Richard.
Let me focus for you.
Not only be about teachers.
Okay, let me leave teachers.
Let's also make it a Mwananchi conversation.
Let me leave teachers.
Do you mean
how many border riders can pay 1,300 shillings a month to get this health system work?
Let me say something.
Wait. When there are 3 children in secondary school,
Let him answer.
when they have...
Let him answer.
Thank you.
Listen, how much was that border paying in terms of Harambee before? How much money were they paying for?
No, that is information. Why are we discussing Harambee? That is irrelevant.
No, it is very relevant because it's
no, it is not. It is not.
Why do you want me to forget? It was only the other day we were doing Harambee for border people.
No, the border people don't want you to pay Harambee for them to be treated. They don't want Harambee to be treated. They want to pay it for themselves.
All right. More tweets coming in thick and fast.
Ahmed Saleh says,
are we in the same country?
Yes.
Which criteria is this social health authority using under the means testing, because the system is charging unfairly?
And also providing Ayub for an appeal mechanism. It is there. Number two, let me talk about means testing. Next week, we are rolling out a more refined tool for means testing. As I said, we have received, not because of the accuracy, but because of the length of the question, and we have deployed various mechanisms and formulas and ways for us to be able to refine the means testing. Kenyans will see this means testing increase over time. As I've said, 5 months, 4 days. That is how long we have been with SHA.
All right.
Anonymous, Jeff, could I say something?
Thank you. Because we have many. Ask Moses Kuria about Baby Ariana and the bill settlement that he promised. Now that as we are speaking, there is a candle lighting for the baby at Clean Shelf Kahawa Wenda. I have committed to Baby Ariana's mother that as a government, and we are going to fulfill that commitment. Now I'm repeating it here because I say it on another channel. But let me say about Baby Ariana. And first of all, condolences again for the loss of Baby Ariana. Baby Ariana was taken to India by the parents. Now, SHA gave something called GOP, guarantee of payment. By the time that guarantee of payment went to the hospital in India, the hospital in India said the parents have already settled the bill. So there's a lot of misinformation happening about this Baby Ariana. And Baby Ariana's mom knows very well because we had this conversation on NTV. And it's, first of all, to be treated abroad, there's no, among the 9,000 hospitals contracted by SHA, does not include even one hospital abroad. They are all hospitals here. To accept to pay for someone abroad is not an entitlement. It is actually a matter of very, very high discretion, which is very special. In fact, it was very fortunate for this GOP to be issued. Nonetheless, our condolences for Baby Ariana's loss, and as I said on public media, and I repeat again, that we're going to start with this family.
And you'll take care of all the expenses and everything?
We are going to contribute as our hearts are going to be touched by that sad moment. And the government. And the president.
Jeff, I would like to say this. This is a matter that I wouldn't want anybody to politicize. It just shows you where we are. That even when Honorable Moses and team are working hard, and I believe him, I've worked with him before, I know he means what he's saying. These gaps are our problem. You see what I'm saying, Moses? These gaps are the ones which you need to get people, and I've said this before, who are substantive enough in the medical industry and accountants and lawyers sit down, because such a case was so pitiful, and yet it really wasn't even the government's issue. Because it was after the effect. We understand that.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying these are the gaps we need to cover.
Chebi from Eldama Ravine, Baringo County says, is it possible to separate SHA's challenges without calling it sabotage, cartels, or a failure? I think most of this has been responded to. And Rafael Kidaha says SHA is still struggling with claim approvals. Many patients requiring surgeries have faced delays, forcing them to go without treatment. How long should a critically ill patient wait for SHA approval before receiving treatment? Shouldn't life come before bureaucracy?
This is a very important question and a very good question. I like this question because, of course, it's talking about surgery. We are between a rock and hard place. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because of the misuse of this approval system in the past, it is important for qualified medical personnel to go through surgery claims so that the system is not abused. At the same time, there is the issue of the urgency of the matter. So what our people are doing, we are now working to refine this is what we call the surgical decision making, the clinical decision making, to automate it as much as possible. Because I know right now there is a backlog and a delay happening there. I'm working with SHA. I'm pushing them every day to actually. Last week we doubled the number of doctors available on that, because someone has to look at the case, decide case by case. I wish it is something that can be digitized, but there's a limit of that, and again it's a working process. Again, that delay is informed by the abuse that we have seen in the past, which we don't want to see a repeat.
Okay. Alfie says it's so unfortunate that Mheshimiwa Onyonka doesn't have the facts. I can confirm that SHA is working well, and I discharged my uncle this afternoon at MTRH, Moi Teaching Referral Hospital, without paying even a shilling. The bill was amounting to 448,000 Kenya shillings. Really thank to the SHA, and let's not put politics into it.
Alfie, I want to tell you that we are praying for Onyonka. He'll get saved. Very soon he'll see the light and turn to the
My response is very simple.
Okay.
I want to tell Moses Kuria, you have seen that, I think since this thing started, there are about 3 people who have said how the thing is working. If I give you the list on what I have on my phone and everybody's saying how it's useless and it's shocking and disappointing, I wish we would put them.
Okay.
And Onyonka, I want you to commit that now from tomorrow, because I've told you, you will ask them to call 147 so that they get.
No, they are hearing you.
Yeah, 147. They are hearing you. Okay. So because the next time you come here with Onyonka, we'll put, and by the way, that 147, that dashboard is going to be available for you guys in the media. So that anybody who is in SHA is not working, put your ticket number.
Okay.
When did you report?
A lot to go through.
Thank you, and I'm happy. At least you see they are doing something.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you.
Let's keep going.
My question to Moses Kuria, says this viewer, Kuche, does the president ever listen to him as his senior advisor?
He would have fired me by now.
Okay.
So he listens.
KJ Bet says, if SHA is working, are we supposed to be told, or we are supposed to experience it? Why is the issue taking too long in the airwaves? Something is not right here. What about the legality of its accusation of the whole system? If it was acquired illegally, then it is null and void.
All right.
And the processes will take place. If it was null and void, if it was an illegality, we are a country of rules of law.
Okay.
So
and Maralal says, from Maralal, SHA is working for me, thanks God. I used it 3 times when I was admitted.
Oh.
Maralal. Can you imagine?
And
this guy would never have been covered in his life.
No.
Next
Yes.
is
Don't
Tito
praise yourself.
Okay.
Nandi County.
Next is Tito Nandi. Says, Jeff, I find it hard to believe when people say SHA is not working. I was admitted on 23rd February this year at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital after suffering acute hepatitis. I was released today, SHA having paid all my bill amounting to 94,000 Kenya shillings. I never underwent any difficulty in the process. Let's learn to say the truth.
I did not coach him.
But
the last one here, we'll respond to this. If NHIF money was stolen, how many are in court? Why not seal the area of the theft instead of subjecting Kenyans to a lot of suffering?
Let me answer this question, Onyonka, because...
answer it as we are winding up.
Yeah? You know, that question is a very important question. And you know, people have been in court before. Some have gone there, have been discharged. The amount of fighting that people are fighting SHA from the stakeholders of the old NHIF, which I've told you has got 33 billion in debt, is shocking. One of the things, again, I'm passionate about SHA is limiting the administrative cost to 5%. Can you imagine the amount? We was taking all the money and spending almost all of it. Out of the money I've told you, the one which was actually going to the hospitals was only 1 billion. We are now sending around 4 billion plus to the hospitals. I'll give you an example.
4 billion, which category?
The actual payment to the facilities. I'll give you an example.
Hold on. To who?
To facilities, to all levels of facilities.
I don't have that evidence.
Public, And
when you come next time, please come with evidence.
And also come with the counter evidence.
Thank you.
Now, I'll just give you an example. You know, we have contracted 9,000 facilities in SHA. NHIF had contracted around 9,600. So there are some hospitals you have said they are still in the old system. I think they are still checking. To make contracts for SHA, you know, the one with this hospital, that hospital, we have used one legal staff by her name is Terry, who has gone through all these contracts, looking at it, and she's a very qualified lawyer, Toothcomb. Do you know how much NHIF spent on just doing the contract? 1 billion. A law firm by the name of MMC, whose owner, Wakili Mureu, member for Gatanga, was here in your this morning. He was paid 1 billion for photocopying papers. Those kind of people will never support SHA.
Can I respond?
You know, the amount of stakeholders I have seen that who are there, vested, you know, it is shocking. And you know, we should look at even where to eat money. There are some things that will take you to hell.
Honorable Moses, that is what is called a red herring. The issues that are being raised are critical. Jeff, I've said some things here. You didn't answer any of them. Where is our data going? Who is the owner of the system? Which hospitals? We'll be interrogating those hospitals. We know some of his friends in government are the ones who opened those facilities. Why have they opened it? In fact, the reason why SHA has got challenges is because some of these guys who have opened their own hospitals are the ones who have actually made it possible, and they're the ones who are delaying because they want their health facilities to be included in the program.
And I want
hold on, Moses.
So what you're saying, there's a lot of stealing going on.
Oh!
Let me say something.
Hold on, Moses.
It is a den of crooks.
There is no bigger den of crooks than what was happening in NHIF.
And they were in that government.
And I want to say
Jeff,
something.
He was in that government.
True.
Yes.
True.
They were in that government.
And there's a reason why SHA is here. SHA is not there in jest.
So when we raise this, we say we respect that the president wants to change the system. But what we are complaining about, why are you doing it extrajudicially?
Senator,
okay.
Moses, let's get some final thoughts going forward. Let's start with you.
This system is our system. Healthcare is very personal to everybody. There is no group treatment. Treatment is personal. It's to you. For those Kenyans who want to believe in SHA, I've seen all the cases that SHA is. One day you ask yourself, why did I not join SHA? Why did I listen to that guy who has got some special cover, or he can afford private insurance? SHA did not come for rich people. SHA came because of that guy in Maralal who never had any, month of January, 400,000 patients went through the primary healthcare system. And each of them, people are talking about 900 shillings. The money we sent for primary healthcare was in the tune of 800 million shillings, meaning that for each people going to a level 2, level 3, we paid 2,000 shillings, for one, not the 900 that we are being told. That is in the month of February alone. SHA came to rig the system, to change the system in favor of the poor, who never had any hope. And for that, I wake up every morning thinking about SHA, not because of big people like me and you, but because of that person who has not 20 million people who are now can go to level 2, level 3, and be treated for absolutely free. The other people we can sort out later. Okay. But for the ones, for the 20 million poor people, I will go to heaven.
I would like to say this.
You get the final word.
Yes.
Senator.
I understand what my brother is saying. I wouldn't even want to contradict him. The only thing I would like to caution him is that as they are trying to change that system, which was broken deliberately and which has been part and parcel of the clique of the individuals who are stealing the money, which we all knew. What I would like to tell him is this: your friends have now moved from NHIF, they have now come to SHA.
They have no chance.
Why, Jeff, why am I saying so?
They have no chance.
Let him come and tell us who owns that system, because that's the system that collects the money.
There is no chance.
Just hold on. I want to know how much money they have collected from last year. The Auditor General says, Kenyans, I don't know what is going on. My brother has really tried tonight to explain to Kenyans that, in fact, if the Auditor General says you have stolen money and whatever, that audit is not final. I have sat for the last 2.5 years in the CPAC committee, and I can tell my brother Moses, the management meeting happened, the first one. You are given the questions which you are going to answer, the issues and the contradictions. You are given 3 months to respond. If you don't respond, then she pronounces herself. What Honorable Duale is talking about, that the controller is politicizing this thing. Every time she's caught them with their hands in the till, they want her fired because she's too brave and she's talking the truth. Our systems, Jeff, are broken deliberately from IFMI system, from previously the NHIF. If you look at the university funding, you can run all financial systems in our government, whether it is county and national. All of them have been broken deliberately because money is being siphoned out.
Thank you.
And please, tomorrow when you go to Senate, feel free to call any government officer to ask questions. Questions. It's very important.
Thank you.
That's your job.
Moses Kuria, Senator Richard.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
I think it's been a wonderful.
And you have to come back again.
We'll come.
When you have some progress.
We'll come.
Right?
I'm waiting for him to bring it.
He's promised to vote for me when I vie for president, so it's...
I will vote for him if I don't have Fred Matiang'i.
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Let me wind up.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Thanks so much for being a part of this JK Live tonight, folks. You know, if it's Wednesday, it's all about those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. It's been a great show, and thanks so much for your responses, and keep them coming. At Koinange Jeff.
At Ayub Abdikadir.
At Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag is JKLive. Thanks so much, folks. Good night, good luck. God bless you all, and God bless Kenya. And SHA.
I was expecting...